Hello again everyone and welcome back. So as promised, I'm going to be showing you the Matchbox collector's case and the cars inside, which were sent to me by the YouTuber Captain Rolls. And I showed this in my recent unboxing video, and if you may have missed that, I will leave a link right here so you can go check that out and come back here afterwards if you want to. But anyways, going to go ahead and get into showing you guys what we have here. And I can tell you all right now, you're in for a treat. Now this little car here wasn't actually in the box with the other cars. It was actually in a bag of parts that Eddie sent me. But I figured I'd go ahead and feature it just because it is a Matchbox, as you can see there, and it's a Camaro. And obviously this car's been played with. Obviously had a very loving owner and heavily chipped. It does have an opening hood, as you can see. And the motor is not very detailed in my opinion, but you gotta understand the time period this car comes from. But yeah, figured to go ahead and show this nice little piece, and we'll get into the cars in the box now. So what could be in this box of mysteries? Well, I can see we got Matchbox Cars, 2 trays worth. There is a little bit of Hot Wheels and other brands in here as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start taking these out and sort them based on manufacturer, and then we'll take a look at them. Okay, so I got all the cars out of the case and I've arranged them in categories. And starting at the back here, I've got what I'm calling the newer style Matchbox, as well as 3, or what's left of 1, of the super fast Matchbox cars. And then this next row is all Hot Wheels Redline cars. And I actually recognize a couple of these I've seen before, but I've got 7 of those. Also here are 2 of the newer Hot Wheels, and this one here would be an older one, but it wouldn't be a Redline. Then this row here is all the old vintage Matchbox cars. You can see what all got here. And then down here, these are all Tootsie toys, and I was not familiar with Tootsie toys until I found out about them from another tuber. And then this piece here is Tomica or Tomica, whatever you want to call. Got some spare parts, no idea what they're from, and a Racing Champions Trans Am. But we'll go ahead and take a closer look at all these now, and we'll start with the Matchbox cars first. The first one I'm going to show you is the number 1 Mercedes truck, and if you look underneath there you can see Made in England by Lesney, number 1 Mercedes truck. And doesn't look too bad. Obviously been played with, and I can see it is missing the tarp on the back here, but definitely seen worse. And also got the number 2 Mercedes trailer that you could buy for the truck as well. And this is in about the same condition. It's missing the tarp too, but I also noticed the tow hitch here is bent, and also there looks like a little bit of a split starting around the eye here, so that could possibly break off easily. But being the hitch is bent the way it is, it pretty much leaves the back of the truck floating up or the back of the trailer, so probably could be fixed. And this is actually the second one of these trucks I've got. I'll show you the first one I got a little bit later here, but I'll wheel in the next piece to look at, which is this number 45 Ford Corsair, and another good looking car. Missing the green plastic boat that would be on the roof here. That's probably went missing a long time ago. And I could see the tow hitch on the back has also been chewed up, and apparently something hot was pressed against the back window. But overall, you know, the car is still complete. Everything's here, minus the boat, but it looks complete without it anyways. So, yeah, not bad. And also got the number 43 pony trailer. And interestingly enough, Eddie actually acquired this with the ponies. And apparently these are usually missing from this little trailer. But somehow whoever had this before Eddie managed to keep up with these for all those years. So there's those. And the trailer itself, again, played with condition. Looks like a crack in the roof there, and there should be a door here, I believe. It's missing as well. But yeah, there's those. Next in, got a couple race cars. The number 19 Lotus, I believe, and the number 52 BRM. And the BRM is missing tires, missing the driver, and stickers are gone as well. And as for the Lotus, as I'm calling it, still has the driver and all the tires, but somebody obviously put a custom paint job on this, and they didn't do the best job. You can see here the car was originally green, and I remember YouTuber Marty's Matchbox Makeovers did a restoration on these two. He also did one on the pony trailer and the Mercedes truck, if I remember right. But yeah, so there's those. Also got, what is this? The number 39 Ford tractor, and these actually came out in two different colors. You could get them, they were all blue, or they were blue with this yellow hood. And this one here is missing the tires, and I can see the back hitch has also been broke off. But yeah, Marty actually did a restoration on one of these recently too. His was all blue though, but there's that. And lastly is this 8-wheeled truck here, and I believe this may have been the Pointer 8-wheeled tipper, but I'm not 100% sure. And obviously the tipper body is gone and the pins are broken off. Surprisingly, this friction block or hydro sleeve, whatever you want to call it, that's still there. But yeah, this truck's no longer a tipper. And interestingly, I'm thinking this piece I found in the box as well, and I think these might be the pipes from the Denver fire truck that Matchbox did, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you know, leave in the comments. So these are the other Matchbox cars I got in, and I'm just going to run through these real quick. But got the number 15 Volkswagen 1500 Saloon, and this honestly reminds me a lot of Herbie, the Love Bug. And interestingly, look at the detail in the number plate. That's pretty good in my opinion. And also got this frame. This is from the number 53 Tanzara. You guys can leave in the comments if you know anything about that. Got this one, which is the number 58, it looks like. Whoosh in Pushin'. And it's got a chewed up wheel there. I'm not sure if it's missing anything or not, but already looked at the Camaro. And lastly, got a 1970 Chevy El Camino. And this honestly looks like a good candidate for my junkyard. Put it in there. I think it looked pretty good. But yeah, there's those. Gonna go ahead and move on to the Redlines now. So first up is going to be this heavy Chevy, and I've seen this car before because the YouTuber Bare Metal HW actually did a restoration on one of these, and this one has had a hard life because there's paint loss all over. It's got oxidation on the body and the base. The wheels are chewed up, and I can see here the pillar on the front has been kinked in slightly. But I'm guessing this car also had racing numbers at some point in its life because of the doors. And you can see on this one right here, looks like remnants of a sticker. And the cars also had the option for racing stripes, but I can't see any evidence that this car had them, so I'm going to assume it never did. But like I said, this is one that definitely stood out in my opinion, and I'm quite happy to have it. I've got a lot of time for these older Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars, and this one here is no exception. But also in that bundle was this Rocket by Baby. And I remember Bare Metal also did a restoration on one of these recently. And this one is really bad in my opinion. Because first off, the suspension is completely gone. If I were to push the car along the bench here, you can see the wheels don't really turn. It pretty much just drags. On top of that, this piece here is broken. It's supposed to look like that. And the exhaust or motor, whatever, does slide out still. I feel like this is supposed to be metal. Did they make them in both metal and plastic? Not sure. But what really ruins this is the fact somebody painted it in this ugly camo green, and they didn't even do a good job either. It looks really bad. And this isn't the only car, because I can actually bring in this one here. This is Strip Teaser. Hopefully I don't get flagged for that. But again, somebody painted it with this ugly camo green paint, and it's just no. And I feel like there should be something here, and maybe this should open, but if it did or does, you know, it's been glued by the paint, and, you know, they really gobbed it on there. But also got this, what is it? The Ferrari 312P, and this car looks like missing some parts. Should be like a hood on the back here maybe. Looks like the interior, something in the interior is melted, I don't know. But there's that. Also got Lotus turbine is what this is called. And this one missing a wheel. I think it's relatively all here, maybe. And also got this one here, which I don't care for. This one's all plastic and must have lit up or something, because it's got an on-off switch at the bottom, but I'd honestly chuck that one in the trash. And lastly, for Redlines, got this one here, and it'd be a later Redline because this is enamel paint, not Spectraflame. And what is this? Doesn't say, but yeah, it's a later Redline. And yeah. Real quick, I'm just going to flash by some cars I don't think need too much screen time, but you can pause the video if you want to look at them a little closer. Old Chevy pickup, I've done a few custom builds with that. And, oh, 69 Firebird. Wouldn't mind adding that to my collection. A little bit of Tootsie Toys. Again, just going to flash it by the camera real quick. Don't like the look of that car. That Jeep don't look too bad. Jamaica containers, they call it. I think this is actually like an airport trolley. And also this Trans Am here, which is a 78. I'm kind of wondering if this may have been something Racing Champions made in relation to Smokey and the Bandit. So before I wrap up this video, here's a look at all the vintage Lesney Matchbox cars Eddie sent me. And I'm quite happy to have these. And also, here's a look at my collection thus far. You can see I got some trains, trucks, and tractors in here. And I'm getting into collecting these older Matchbox cars. I'd like to possibly do some restorations in the future as well, like this Routemaster bus. I'd like to restore that. Same with this 8-wheel crane, and maybe this pipe truck. But stuff like this John Deere tractor here, it looks pretty good. I actually picked this up at a show earlier this year. And like these Matchbox trains here, I got these at a flea market a couple years back. I actually had two of these 040 steam locomotives. I sent one over to Marty at Marty's Matchbox Makeovers to do a restoration on, so might be seeing that on his channel someday. But yeah, overall, I'm quite pleased with what you see on screen. One nice thing about this box Eddie sent is I now have some place to store my vintage Matchbox cars rather than just putting them in a random box or leaving them on a shelf somewhere. And my hopes are that someday I'll have a decent showcase I can put up in the living room and display them there. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Again, I want to thank Eddie for sending me these cars. I really appreciate it, and I really like these, especially the vintage Lesney Matchboxes. I'm really happy to add those to my collection, and I really appreciate your generosity of giving these to me. It means a lot. And another thing, I really like the Hot Wheels Redline Heavy Chevy. That's one that really stuck out in this bundle of cars. And again, Eddie, just thank you. And as to everyone else, if you've lasted this long, I want to thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends. And I'll see you guys next time, so take care.